Hi, this is Randy and I'm back. This is day 2 of our 5 days together, and I hope everybody is excited and raring to go. We'll start it up here. Alright, so today we're going to look at personal mission statements, and what we call everyone loves a good story. Before we get going, we're going to have a quick review from yesterday. And what we did there is we talked about our personal brand. Again, I think you've had some of this in the past, so hopefully it wasn't totally brand new to you. But if it was, hopefully I gave you enough to help you work on your personal brand and change it if you need to. We talked about your personal brand, like I said. What is your personal brand? How do people perceive you when you're not around? Do you like your personal brand? If not, it might be time to look at it and see how you can change it a little bit. And are you focused on presenting that particular brand? So that was kind of yesterday. We are moving forward here. And so today we're going to look at a business story versus a personal story. And then we're going to build a personal mission statement at the end. All right. So a business story, that's a story that you tell. It's about your audience. Now that sounds kind of weird, but it's a story that companies would use this when they are giving their annual meetings, when they're on conference calls to banks, things like that. They're talking about their audience, what their customers have done. So they're very important, but it's just not actually what we're going to cover here. I'm just saying that's a different type of story. I'm letting you know it's out there. What I do want to talk about is the personal story. Now, personal story is obviously it's about you because it's personal. And it's a powerful, inspirational, and emotional type of communication. So why a personal story? Well, as we talked about yesterday, you remember people like stories. People remember stories. You may not remember everything else from somebody, but if they tell you a story and you can connect, you will remember that story. It humanizes yourself. It lowers the audience defenses. That's a perfect thing. Because if you're standing in front of a group of people and you're trying to convince them to hire you, for example, well, if you come up with a story that they can relate to, that makes you more of a human as opposed to just another person coming through here, their defenses will lower. They're more receptive to listening to what you have to say. And also the person's story is going to build that connection. Like I said, if they can connect with your story, they'll understand you better. And they'll have a bond. And they're like, okay, I remember this guy. I mean, this person right here. They had this story about, just like what I did. Okay. All right, some examples. I was living in the streets 5 years ago. And today, I'm running a growing nonprofit. Another one. My life changed when I was diagnosed with cancer. I had to ask myself, what really matters to me? And another example is, as a firefighter who sees homes destroyed every day, saving a pair of shoes means more than anyone can imagine. So obviously, each one of those 3 examples, the story's longer than what it is, but I'm just kind of giving you the gist of it, the idea behind it. And you can see if you get involved in one of those stories, you can make a connection with somebody. Those are powerful stories. You all have a story out there. You may not think it's as powerful, but it's a story about you. And after all, this is what this whole week is about. It's putting you on a piece of paper that is a living you. Does that make sense? You are creating something that is you. So when you're telling a story to somebody, that's part of what we're creating this week. You are telling part of you. There's nothing wrong about that. It is what it is. It is part of you. And you should have passion behind it. You should have energy. And you should have excitement. All right. So you are going to tell your own life story. When you do this, you have to be honest. Don't start making up a bunch of stuff because you're never going to remember that. Be sincere. Be who you are. Stay focused. Now, the last part is important because it's very easy, especially for me. I can start telling a story to somebody and I'll get off on these tangents that may or may not. They're kind of related to the story, but they don't have anything to do with the outcome of the story. And a lot of people are like that. They will start kind of going off in different directions as they're talking, and it's very difficult for someone to follow along with you. What is okay, so before we move on to the next part of this, I want you to think about what is your story going to be? What is a quick synopsis of who you are and what you're about? You don't have to say that at 2 years old I learned to do this. If that's not important to your story, leave that out. But you want to have something condensed and focused that people can gravitate to. So when you start building your own story, and you're going to do that later, but when you build your own story, you want to make sure you could start big and then start whittling it down to something that's within a minute or two. Something you can remember and something you can tell others in a short period of time. All right, so let's move on. What is a personal mission statement? Well, essentially, it's a 1 to 2 sentence motto that shows how you define yourself as a person or as a team member. Okay, so a personal mission statement is just 1 or 2 sentences that explains who you are. That's it. It just says, this is what I am. This is what I do. This is what I want. Okay, it's all combined. So I'm going to show you a couple examples. Very simple. I want to make people happy. It's Walt Disney. Short, sweet, to the point. Okay? You can remember that. You know exactly what he wants to do. Another one. To have fun on my journey through life and learn from my mistakes. Richard Branson. He's the chairman of Virgin Industries, a billionaire. If something is important enough, you should try it, even if the probable outcome is failure. That's Elon Musk. And then lastly, to be a teacher, to be known for inspiring my students to be more than they thought they could be. Oprah Winfrey. All of those are very successful people. All of those you probably have heard of, or at least most of them. And their statement is very compact, very specific, and very focused. And that's what we're going to talk about. A PMS, or a personal mission statement, I'll use those two words interchangeably. It should be inspiring, easy to remember, and they keep their visionaries focused. Now that's what we're going to talk about here in a second. See, successful people, they have the same amount of time as you and I do every day. But their number one strength is they stay focused. They don't let their time get sucked away by things that are not in their focus. They're non-goal pursuits. Okay? So, very successful people use their personal mission statement every day. And if it does not fit in their personal mission statement, it's just not that important to them. That's fine. So how are we going to create your personal mission statement? Well, we want to identify the value you want to create. What does that mean? We'll talk about all this in a second. Then we want to identify who you want to create it for. So who's it going to be focused for? What audience are you using this on? Identify your core skills you're going to use to create it. You can also add what you want for yourself. So like Richard Branson talked about, he wants to learn from his mistakes along the way. But you also want to leave specifics out. That's going to go in a different section, and that's going to be on your goals sheet. Remember, this is just a personal mission statement, very short, sweet, to the point. So what we've come up with is a basic template. Now, this looks kind of weird because it's got a lot of colors going on there, but I'll explain it to you. The first one up here on top, it says to use, and then in parentheses it's whatever skills I'm talking about, XYZ skills, to have XYZ positive outcome for XYZ group of people with XYZ details. Okay, so I'm going to use these skills to have this outcome for this group of people with these details. Okay, so I've matched them up with the one down below it, and I kind of came up with one. So I'm going to use my coaching skills to help teens realize their dreams and grow caring, confident adults. Okay? So creating your own PMS, personal mission statement again. Sorry. You can just strip it down, like Walt Disney did. I want to spread happiness. Okay? That's fine. So you see the difference here is this one, let me go back. This one here is a little bit more specific. I want to use my coaching skills to help teens realize that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Very, very focused. This one, I want to spread happiness. Again, nothing wrong with that. A little bit wider, not quite as focused, but everything I'm going to do is going to create happiness. If it's not going to help spread happiness, I don't want anything to do with it. Okay? All right. Once you finally complete your PMS, you want to ask for feedback. And when I say ask for feedback, talk to your peers, your friends, your classmates, your family, anybody else. Ask them. Talk to them about it. What do they think? What do they think about this? Over time, adjust it as you need it. This is not something you're going to come up with this week and for the rest of your life. This is going to be it. No, it's not set in stone. This is a living, breathing document that is you. In 5 years from now, it may change. You may decide you want to do something completely different. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But all I'm saying is, while this is your PMS, stay focused on it. Make sure everything you do goes into that. If it doesn't, you're just kind of wasting your time. As a side note, if you find yourself spending more time outside of your PMS, then it might be time to change your mission statement. Again, like I said, that's okay. Nothing wrong with it. Maybe you've outgrown that. Maybe you've changed your place in life. Maybe things have happened to where your focus is somewhere else. Okay, not a problem. But that's how you can gauge when it might be time to move on. All right, a couple of reminders. Always remember you are networking. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, you are always networking. The second one, again, be careful of your electronic footprint. I cannot stress enough. Things happen all the time. with younger people that have put things on social media, that have put things out there, and future employees, employers, and schools go and find it, and they will pull your job offer. They will pull your scholarship. You are no longer allowed to go to that school. It happens every single day. I'm saying be careful. All right. So your homework tonight. You need to create your own personal mission statement. Go back through this. Find out. I spelled statement wrong. Find out. Use a template if you need to help you get going. But I want you to create your own mission statement. Along those lines, I also want you to work on your own personal story. Now, that shouldn't be that hard. The hard part is boiling it down to where it's just in a minute or two, okay? But so you really have two things, and I'll add the second one on the PowerPoint presentation when we send it out. But it's make your own story and create a personal mission statement. All right. Have fun. See you tomorrow.